Finally, I get to talk about the original trilogy. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Originally just titled Star Wars, is the fourth canonical installment of the Star Wars series, but it was the first Star Wars movie to ever be released. This movie stars Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, Harrison Ford as Han Solo, Carrie Fisher as Leia Organa, and James Earl Jones as the voice actor for Darth Vader. No, not Anakin. That character's now Darth Vader. Darth Vader was great. So anyway, this movie takes place 17 years after Revenge of the Sith, something like that. And yeah, now Luke Skywalker, you know, he's this kid, he lives on the planet Tatooine. Tatooine's like this desert wasteland, whatever. Not a great place to live on, but you know, Luke's there, and he kind of wants out because he hates the planet and all that stuff. But he's got his aunt and uncle, you know, and kind of bring up Spider-Man parallels right there. They're like this, you know, couple like they're there and whatnot, and then Luke one day finds these two droids, C-3PO and R2-D2, and they are basically part of the Galactic Rebellion, which is like this group that rebels against the Empire, which is basically this evil government that controls a whole bunch of galaxies and systems, and no one likes the Empire, so the Rebellion are like this small band of freedom fighters who are the only people who have the courage to stand up to them. And you know, these droids are part of the rebellion, and Luke wants in, so he finds Obi-Wan Kenobi, who he has this message that the droids want, and Obi-Wan Kenobi reveals that Luke's father was once a Jedi. Jedi are like these awesome fighters, guys who, you know, they can use this power called the Force, which is basically kind of like telekinesis mixed with mind control, mixed with a bunch of other cool stuff that we can see later on. And it's awesome. They have lightsabers, which is like a sword made of light beam energy and stuff. And they're like the coolest weapons ever. I want to get an FX lightsaber one day. Because a friend of mine has one, and I want it. And yeah. And then Luke, Obi-Wan, droids, they go on a mission to rescue Princess Leia, who's trapped within the Death Star, which is this evil planet-sized space station that the Empire built to destroy planets to impose on people. And then there's Han Solo and Chewbacca, these bounty hunter smugglers who are in it for the money, and they end up ending up with the rebellion and stuff. It's really a marvel that this movie even was made, because there was so many production troubles with this thing, and you know, no one believed this thing could work. But you know how well this thing worked? George Lucas, the director, was not confident in this movie, so he like took a vacation, and then he saw, like, when he was on vacation, there was this huge line at a movie theater, and they wanted to see Star Wars. And yeah, and I hear Harrison Ford was like spotted in like a convenience store, and then fans like crowded him and almost killed him. Pretty funny story, but this movie's awesome. I probably should talk about the movie itself. It's awesome, you know. Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker. This is pretty much the movie protagonist. Like Luke Skywalker, you know, he's this fish out of water kid. He doesn't know what's going on, but he wants to be a help, so you know, he does stuff which he believes he is right. And, you know, he's not the best kid, you know, he's got some learning to do before he gets to be this Jedi Master and stuff and learn his powers. And he's great. And Obi-Wan Kenobi is, like, the mentor person, I guess. Like, you know, he's wise, he's old, he's subtle, he knows what's best, and he really teaches Luke. And, you know, there's C-3PO and R2-D2, the droids. They're robots, you wouldn't think they're awesome, but they're great. I mean, C-3PO's, he's a protocol droid, he's not really a fighter or whatnot. He just, you know, and his arms are like permanently bent like this, so he talks and moves like this. And you know, he's like this prissy guy, you know, he's like, Master Luke, this is not good, I do not like this. And you know, R2-D2 only really talks in like beeping sounds. But even still, like the stuff, you know, he says, because, you know, C-3PO and Luke can talk to him for some reason, it can be pretty funny, and he's pretty awesome. You know, he's got this little knob thing that he can alter things with. And it's pretty awesome. And Han Solo's the best character. This guy, he's great. It's like, you know, he's this bad boy, smug dude. You know, he's in it for the money, and he knows that. And, you know, he always cracks some funny jokes and stuff, and he's really cool. And I love this guy so much. He's probably my favorite Star Wars character. You know, we got Chewbacca also. Chewbacca only really has the line of, but, you know, he's a nice little presence. He's kind of like Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy. So for a comparison today, it's pretty cool. And Leia's pretty cool. Like, I hear back in the day, Leia was like this incredible character. It was like, this girl, she's wielding a gun? That's unthinkable. And yeah, Leia's pretty awesome. And she's really cool, too. Like, you know, when they free her, she's just like, hey, do you have a plan for getting me out of here? No? Okay, well then follow me, I'm gonna get you out of here. That's really awesome. But I haven't talked about Darth Vader yet. Darth Vader's, in my opinion, he's the greatest villain in any movie ever. Like, from the moment he walks on screen, it's one of the best introductions to a character ever. He just walks in there, and you hear his breathing, it's like... And, you know, you hear that, and he's, like, you know... He's like one of the only people left who believes in the Force, because a while ago he had a part in killing all the Jedi, which I guess if you remember Revenge of the Sith, you know, that came out later, or whatever. And, you know, he's like this villain. He has the power to choke someone with his mind, because he has the Force. He's really awesome, and, you know, the stuff that he does later on is also awesome. And it's really awesome to see the plot unfold, and I love stuff like... This movie came out in 1978, and the special... 77, actually. And, like, the special effects in this movie were revolutionary for the time, and even today, as you watch them, you're like, wow, look at all of those cool practical effects they had in 77, that's great. It's definitely better than a lot of the prequel special effects. Well, particularly episodes 1 and 2, because the third one had decent, better stuff, but whatever. And it still looked awesome. And there's also the special edition. I don't mind the special edition changes that much, to be honest. Like, the Han shot bursting, it's like 3 seconds of the movie. If people are really going to make that big deal about who shoots first, then you might as well not be a fan if you're just going to let those 3 seconds ruin a movie for you. I mean, seriously. I haven't even heard talks of releasing the unedited versions, so whatever. My stance on the special editions, they, like, change minor things. You shouldn't care. I prefer the special editions personally. That's just me. Whatever, I don't care. Star Wars is awesome. A New Hope is, honestly, it's one of the most important movies ever made. Because this movie really was one of the front runners of the sci-fi action thing. It was like this, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Blade Runner, those types of things. This was like revolutionary. George Lucas, bravo for creating this series. I don't hate you. You're awesome for doing this series and all that stuff. And you did Indiana Jones also, and a lot of other cool stuff. Star Wars is such an awesome movie. It's got such an amazing cast of characters. The story is out of this world. Ha 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 ha. And just, it's such an epic scale movie that's so much fun to watch. I love the action scenes also, where they're escaping the Death Star. Sorry about that. Once again, video cutouts, whatever. But yeah, I love, like, the ending scene where they're going to the Death Star and all that and blowing it up. It's awesome. I love it. This movie is so good. Honestly, the first time I saw it, I was just, wow. I like this movie. This is a great movie. I mean, wow. It's such an awesome movie. Even today, this movie is almost 40 years old. Oh, wow. This movie's almost 40 years old. Oh, wow. This movie's great. Star Wars: A New Hope. I personally call it A New Hope, because it's like, hey, what are you watching? I'm watching Star Wars. Which one? Star Wars. Which one? Star Wars. Star Wars, the first one. Phantom Menace? No, A New Hope. Ah, there we go. See, that's why I call it A New Hope. Whatever. This is a great movie. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, gets a 97%. There's so little wrong with this movie. There's really so little wrong with this movie. It's such an awesome movie. It's so near perfect, I honestly can't say a whole lot bad about it. But next we're talking about The Empire Strikes Back, which is probably one of the best sequels ever in a movie ever. Ever movie, sequels, franchise, whatever. Words, words, words. And yeah, adios, home slices. Trying to use the Force to stop the video. Why can't I have the Force? Yeah, let's just use our hands.